Hello, Cody. How's it
Hey,
going?
how's it going? It's pretty good.
It's been a
Yourself?
minute.
More than a minute, I would say.
All right. So, what are we gonna look at tonight?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me. I just
So,
joined back, and I see that work has been completed.
yes,
There's
we had
been a
a
pull
contribution.
request merged. Yeah, it looks amazing. This is looking good.
It is pretty cool. Little
I did,
contribution from Nazanin, which has been on the stream before.
yeah, I did find one bug here where the 12 a.m. looks like it's cut off at the top of
Nice.
this calendar in the day view.
Well, we can fix that for sure. And then I think one thing we can do is continue on the event. I think right now the contribution that Naz provided is the ability to add events from a hard-coded source. So like you pass the events manually. But one thing
Okay.
that would be nice is to have some kind of function where you can fetch events like from an API or whatever. I think that would be a good contribution. Or maybe you can look at some more UI. Up to you. I don't think there's much UI stuff to do. Though.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, let's do it. You want to fix that bug first?
We can fix the bug, and then we can take a look at the PR just to do like a summary of what happened,
Sure.
and maybe kind of test it out a little bit. See if there are any weird things, and then
Yeah, sounds good.
continue.
All right, so I'm just thinking this is probably just a simple fix of just aligning the number maybe with the top line here. So we just shift everything down just a little bit.
Tiny bit, yeah. Does
Just a
it do it? It
touch.
does it at the bottom too. So maybe just some padding at the top and bottom would do the trick.
It does it at the bottom here? Oh, you're right. It doesn't have
Yeah.
12 for the next day. Let's try the padding. Let's see what happens. All right. Now I'm going to have to get familiar again here. So this is the playground, which means you're using the UI component, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So that would be packages and React. What do we got here? I see Dayview, calendar. Okay, so it's got to be within Dayview. All right, I see we merged in some console logs. Awesome.
Yeah, it's fine for now.
Okay, so I guess we've got header, but there's no header in here, is there? Oh, this could be the header. Okay. Okay. This is where your dev idea could come in super handy, hey? Just be able to pinpoint exactly which component is which. Okay, so it looks like width 14, flex none. Let's look for that. All right, flex none. So here it is. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, I see. You did a... How did you get the numbers in here? You just have a div here that is the width that you want. Where do the numbers come in? Oh, I see. Okay.
Have my laptop going wild for a little bit, trying to get it under control. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so it looks like you have a margin top that's negative. So what if we just changed this out? Actually, let's see if my keys work here. Is it Control L? No. Command L? No. Oh no. I have forgotten my own command. Ah, there it is. Perfect. All right, 1.5. Let's see.
Ooh, it's Chrome going crazy. What the hell?
That's a little better. Let's try 0.5. Okay. Although I think you said you wanted to add padding first, so maybe I should do that first, hey? So that would probably be this guy. Let's try padding at 2 or something. You sure there's a number at the bottom? 11 p.m.
There should be.
11. Nope, there's no number at the bottom.
No?
But you end at 11 p.m., which I think makes sense. So you can go to 11:59, otherwise you'd be at the next day. Okay, so padding kind of worked. You can see here, I just did a padding of 2. You can kind of see that it didn't quite do what we wanted it to do.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Chrome. It's using like 126% of my CPU right now.
Oh,
The
wow.
hell?
Chrome or Arc?
It's Chrome. Because Twitch, so you know how Arc is supposed to separate like the profiles?
Yes.
Well, if you log into Twitch, it doesn't. So you log into Twitch on one profile, you switch to a different profile, you go on Twitch, and you're going to be logged in anyway.
Interesting.
Yep. That is interesting indeed.
Well, hold on there. Are you talking profiles or spaces? Because they're 2 different things, right?
Profiles.
Oh, okay. Only for Twitch, because I haven't had that.
Only for
problem.
Twitch. I didn't have the problem on anything else.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to test this on my free time. Okay, so I changed the margin.
Yeah.
To 0.5. Still a little close to the top. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not
As long as we can see 12 a.m., I think it's okay. You know.
Yeah. All right. Okay. There you go. I would say that is fixed. Right. Let's let's take a look at that pull request before I make another one. That would have been right in here. And pull request closed. Add event day view. It's got to be this one. What did you want me to look at exactly?
Well, just the overall like PR, just to see like what has been done. You know.
Okay, so it looks like we got rid of our import for our types inside of calendar. Okay. Datekit context. Okay, yep, we swapped for Datekit event. So I assume we made a new type. Use calendar got updated. Same day. Events, current date, events. Okay, so this is just grabbing all the events that are the same day. Wait, event.start.getDate equals current get date. Okay. Calculate. Oop, gotta. Is that supposed to be there?
Well, that's a tricky one to see. Yeah, I don't think anything changed though in that file. I feel like it's
Just got
mostly
added?
white space. Yeah, I think it was white space.
Oh, okay. All right. Looks like you switched to double quotes.
Yeah, same thing. It's probably some settings in her thing, but it's okay. Interesting. I don't
Oh yeah,
remember.
so much white space here. You're right. Oh, this
Yeah.
is probably just showing us the difference actually. Okay. Then we just have format. Yeah, we'll have to add prettier, just so we don't have so many conflicts.
Yeah. I mean, it should be in there, but
Okay, this looks like a change though. We've got an unordered list instead of an ordered list, and we're now mapping sources. Return is same day dot map. Okay. Sources dot map. Return is same day dot map. I wonder if we should consider doing this before just to clean it up. Although I guess you can't. No, you need the source. Okay. All right. And then we've got playground page. Oh, I see. You're right. They Good.
Good. We're back on track. Little Chrome shenanigans.
Oh.
Okay, so where were we?
Oh no, I just realized I joined from the wrong Twitch. Damn. 1 sec here. Now I have to reset and go to.
It seems fine on my end.
There we go. Perfect. Just so I can see the chat. All right. We were looking at the pull request. Everything looks good. The only thing I noticed is I think you're right. The sources are currently hard coded. They're currently hard coded for October. So basically, if I go here and I go back to October. Oh, I'm in a day view. Let's go to month view. I should see some events. Oh. I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Okay. There you go. All right. Can I drag these? No. Well, I don't know what you need me for anymore. Looks like you got it all done. Datekit's complete.
Nah, we just did the basic events. Now we gotta pretend we're talking to an API. Let's see if we can send like a request that passes. Ideally, what I'm thinking is, you see right now you're on the day view for October 20th.
Yep.
We should load the events by calling the method provided by the user of the library and just tell it the start date, which is October 20th, midnight, and then the end date, which is October 20th, PM 59 minutes, right? Just so they can load exactly the events that are on this screen. And then if you switch to a week view, for example, then the start date would be the beginning of the week and the end date would be the end of the week. So they can always load like the appropriate amount of events, kind of on demand, you know?
Oh, you just want to load them all. Okay.
I think that would be a good thing. Well, if you're on the week, yes, but you only load the events for that particular week.
What's the deal with this? Why is there like an extra?
That's probably going to be for the day events, maybe. If we have any day events.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically you want if I switch to day view, wait, if I switch to day view, you want to fetch the events for that day, but if I switch to week view, you want to fetch the events for that week?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Is Are we going to add MSW for this then, or what do you want to use as our fake API?
That I don't know. Is there a tool out there that we can create like a fake endpoint and return like some things?
Oh, I mean, there's plenty of options. One of which would be MSW. You could just make a
Yeah.
fetch call, but if you don't want to
Worst
go
case on the
that
playground.
far,
On
you
the
could do
playground,
Faker.
we could do Faker, but on the playground we can create a route view because that's an XJS app, right? So we
Yep.
just create an API route on the playground, and we just return some events.
Yep. We could do that.
Um,
Okay. That is playground. But I don't see. Oh, playground is not within apps. Okay, I see.
it's a separate namespace.
All right. So you want to create. Uh, I know you don't have to, but I like to create an API folder. So let's do events, and we'll do a new file called route.ts export async get. And what do our events look like? We should probably create just a bunch of fake events, hey? Just
Yes.
call this mock data. Oh, do you want it hyphened? Okay, so if I'm looking at that code, this was in page.tsx. Okay, so page.tsx. So essentially, we would just want. Oh, this is not a lot of sources, actually. You had more than this, it looked like. Oh,
Well,
okay.
each source was kind of for a different use case. So the first source was to load events directly, like you had an array of events somehow, and you just load it into your calendar through a
Okay.
prop or through like that, basically. The second source was an example of using the function to fetch the events from a remote source. And then the third one is just a special use case that I'd like to support at some point is to have recurring event. So an event that has an R rule on it, and our calendar component would be able to read that R rule and kind of replicate that event if necessary.
Okay. Okay. So let's just start with what the object should look like. So I see we have ID, name, start, and metadata.
Yep.
So where would you want your reoccurring part of metadata, or do you want it as a top level? So I'm
The
thinking like
recurring would be
just
top
gonna
level, I
copy
think.
this. I'm gonna go into this mock data. I'm gonna export const events, and I'm just gonna paste that first event in there.
Okay.
Okay,
Just
and
think of top level properties as like
oh,
properties that we
this,
expect to be there all the time.
don't need this.
So if your database, when you're using Datekit, if your database is slightly different or whatever, you would have to reformat your events so it kind of matches that pattern, I guess. So we need to keep the top level properties as small as possible. We don't
Yep.
want to have too much. That's why we have the metadata object. Then in there you can pass whatever the hell you want.
Okay. Okay, it makes sense. So you want to add to metadata? Okay, so we can't do new date. Uh,
Either a
oh,
timestamp
look at
or
that. Look at
yeah,
cursor.
yeah. There you go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so um, let's do let's do all the metadata. So basically, we've got an idea for our event, we've got a name, we've got a start, we've got an end, we've got a metadata for the description, and you want the ability to add recurring.
Yes. So the R rule, I think, is going to be a top level, and it will
Okay,
either
yeah.
be false if you or null if you don't have one, or it will be an R rule.
Okay, so hold on though, because reoccurring can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be daily, it can be custom. Maybe I want it every 3 weeks, or maybe I want it every.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
That's where the R rule comes in. Have you ever seen the R rule?
I have not. No.
So open that in your arc. You just type like R rule.
R rule.
Yep. R rule. So not that one. um, there should be a website that explains what an R rule is, but there's no space between. So maybe if you type it without the space, it's going to understand better. There you go. So that's basically what we're using for
This one.
Yeah, and it's a format that's kind of standard for recurring stuff. So
New
that's the
R
library
rule.
that parses it, but there's an R rule. Let me see if I can find it actually. The R rule spec.
So is it just a string?
It is just a string.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're just gonna call it R rule,
Yep, it's pretty standard.
and I can have it undefined or null, I guess.
Could be null or yeah, false
Okay.
or whatever. Any falsy value.
Okay, now let's create one more, and let's give it an actual R rule. So what's an R rule that actually works? Like this one.
Yeah.
DT start frequency monthly count equals 5.
Yeah,
This
so
thing.
that's gonna repeat monthly, starting with the DT start, and it's gonna repeat 5 times, and then it's gonna stop.
Okay. Okay, so let's add that guy there. Do I need the /n? I guess I do. Okay. All right. Now let's just say Command K, create me a random assortment of events following this pattern. Make sure to use proper R rule for the R rule. And what? Probably spread it out throughout the year. Spread it
Yes, or maybe
out.
we could focus on a particular month and year, and we always come back to the same month and year, so we know that it's always the same.
Let's say spread it out throughout the last half of 2024. Make sure to have at least one reoccurring event that happens once a year for 10 years. Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll need to make sure that not all the events are recurring. We need some regular.
There we go.
ones.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't give me very many. All
We
right.
don't need that many. We just need like one event for each type, I guess, or like at least a couple, maybe.
How dare it change that start time? Wait, did it even change it?
Yeah.
What did it change
No,
it to?
not even.
It didn't. What?
Okay.
Oh, look at this. It's going crazy. It's giving us color. Looks like we got to add color.
Yeah, we gotta add color.
Okay, done. All right. So now let's create a route to fetch those.
I mean, the display of the events, the whole point was to be able to allow people to pass their own component as the event component. So they need to figure that out. Like how can you pass like your own kind of thing? Or do we create a component that we use and then somehow it has like event handler when you click on it or when I don't know. Like they need to figure that out.
I think I think we should do both. We should offer some sort of default event that if you have a simplistic design and you don't care, you can use it. And we also offer the ability for you to swap in your own. And since metadata can be anything you want, that just means it's something that lives inside of theirs. So we just document it well that if you're using our event component, then your events must have this type of data structure. But if you're using your own, you can use whatever metadata you'd like.
Yeah, but then what I'm thinking is if we allow people to use their own component, how do we deal with the display of such component in the calendar UI? And if we want to allow like drag and drop creation of events, then
Yeah, so I would say you have a wrapper. You have an event creator essentially. So you allow them to have a component custom created, but it has to be wrapped by essentially your component. This component is the one that's drag and dropped and it fits within a square. So you have to make yours kind of fit within.
I guess
Yeah. By the way, you're really quiet right now. Your mic,
it didn't change.
interesting.
Is it better now?
I have my volume almost max and I'm having a hard time hearing you.
That's pretty strange.
Let's see. Maybe it's directly inside this stream.
Maybe. Because my
I
volume
can
is pretty
change your
good.
volume in here. Try now.
Hello? Can you hear me better?
Now you're just muted.
That makes no sense, Cody.
Are you actually talking? Are you messing with me?
Yes, I am talking right now.
I can't hear you. I'm so confused. What?
I am
Try
talking.
again.
Yes.
Oh,
Hello.
okay.
What's up?
I still can't hear you. This is so weird.
It is
Oh
indeed.
no.
I am there.
Okay. No, I still can't hear you. We might have to go for a break here and fix this.
So that's good. All right, folks, we'll be back. We have some technical issues tonight.
More technical.
And we're back.
All right, was not technical difficulties. That was just me being dumb.
Human error.
Okay, so let's import. Yes, sure. Let's import events, and let's just return events, and we don't care about the request. All right. This should be simple enough. So now, in theory, I should be able to delete these sources. And we should be able to say const events and do a use effect. Actually, let's. What do you want to do? Use SWR, or do you want to just do a use effect?
I'm fine with use effect.
Okay, the only problem is that now we have to solve for calendar. Calendar is use calendar, which takes sources, but we don't have sources. Events. Event is definitely date kit event. There we go. Oh man. Oh, are we not exporting the type? No, this is wrong. This is wrong. It went to the wrong spot. Date kit event, does that come from core? Import
I think so.
date kit event source? Is that what I want? That is what I want. ID name events. Wait. Okay, yeah, I see. Oh, ID name and events.
But
That's
that's
not
for the
what we did.
source. That's for the source.
Okay.
And then you have events, which is Datekit event.
Wait a minute. That means I screwed this source up. Let me just cut this.
No, I
Reverse
think it
this.
was fine.
I was only fetching events though, so I just want to see. Ah. Okay, so yeah, we do have event 1 with
Yeah. So
multiple
that's just a
events.
way to name like your source, basically. And later we can also add a color for a single source. So if you if you display multiple sources, each source has kind of its color code. So it could be helpful if you're showing multiple calendars and stuff.
I guess I'm not understanding the source. How do we fetch sources? Because we just created an event route to get all these events.
Yeah, but that the event route is called by one of the source. So you create a source that calls that event route to fetch the events with a function. So instead of events being an array like it is right now, in your source, your events is actually a function.
Oh, but what is a source? Like
A
why do we
source
have
is
source event 1 that has multiple events inside of it? I guess
well,
I
the
don't
name of the
understand.
source is dumb, right? But think of it as our calendar is like a Google calendar, and inside of it you can have multiple calendars, and each one of those calendars is a source, right? Like when you subscribe to other calendars in your Google calendar, those are different sources.
Oh. Oh. Okay, so okay.
Right? So I could pass like a source that has the hard coded events, let's say the holidays, for example, right? I could have another source that is my events coming from my API, in which case the events will not be an array, but a method that calls my API,
Yeah,
and so
but
on and so
who
forth.
so I guess my next question then is who handles the source? The user or us?
The user.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we only return well, we don't even return events.
Yeah.
So
Like you see this component that you have on your cursor screen, that that we create an array of sources and then we pass that to Datekit.
right. So in theory, at base level, I would simply send it a single source and its name would just be default because that would be the default source of your calendar.
Sure, or it could be whatever, right? Like it could be the email of the user that you're trying to display the calendar of, or whatever that is.
Yeah. Okay, so in this case,
We don't use the name right now in the UI anyway, so it's really
yeah,
to just know, like, oh, this is my source, right?
yeah. I'm just thinking like do we create a separate API call then to fetch the sources?
No, no, that will be the responsibility of the user, right? For this
Well,
example, we don't need it.
but our example we're creating a fake API, right? So,
Yeah, but it's just to make sure that we can load events in the source from an API.
okay.
But we don't need to fetch the sources themselves from the API. Like that is relevant to Datekit. Where however you get your source doesn't matter to us.
Oh, no, I know that, but I'm saying we're testing it. So, how do you want to do it? Do you want me to just create a
But you
constant
can't.
sources.
You can't return a source like a list of source from an API because one of the source will have a function to load the other events. How do you return a function from an API?
Okay.
Right? So it
All
doesn't
right.
work.
So I can't. But now you're just making me more confused. What was the purpose of us creating the API route that returns events
To
if we
fetch the
can't?
events dynamically, but
Okay.
not the sources, the events only. So
Okay.
as a
So
user of Datekit, when I create my app, I'm gonna create a Datekit. Like I'm gonna use the calendar component, right?
yeah.
And I'm gonna pass the sources to it. You see how I do use calendar sources, whatever. And in one of those sources, we'll have a function that is able to call my API/events and load the events dynamically. But that source doesn't have to
Okay.
be dynamic. The source is one source. Like it's fine.
Yeah, I guess I'm lost in what we're trying to achieve right now. So
Okay, so
if I make sources have events as a function, but I'm passing sources to use calendar, then that means that our code is executing the user's code to fetch their data, which shouldn't be the case. They should
no, it
already
is.
be passing us the data.
No, they shouldn't. That's the thing because we need to. The whole point of having the events being a function instead of an array is that our calendar, if you change the view, you can load the appropriate events. Because the last thing we want is for people to use our calendar component and have to load all of their events for the entire year or whatever to display inside of the thing when the user is changing the month. No, what we want is if the user is changing the month, we make another call to the function you provided to fetch the events for that month. And your API endpoint should give us those events based on the start date and the end date that we provide to you. So that's why
Okay.
they give us the function so that we can call that function.
Yeah. And how do we handle failures?
Well, the same way you would any other failure. You just throw an error, right?
You want to throw an error from a hook. This is
Yeah.
what I'm saying, right? We have a black box. We have a black box now that's a hook that takes sources that throw, and a hook. The hook throws the error, so which means
But we
we would
just need
almost
to
need to
have
add
an
an
error.
error handler.
Yeah, there will be one. Like when we try to call their function, we will wait for some kind of answer. Like we know it's going to be an asynchronous function. We just wait for the error for the result to happen. If there is any kind of error, we just say, "Hey, one of your sources failing," and here's the name of the source. That's where the name becomes relevant.
Okay. Okay.
Usually,
So
it's the
I
name of
can.
the
So in theory, then I can delete this
yes,
because
and
this is now going to be.
a function.
We shouldn't even call it events at this point. It should be fetch events.
Yeah,
Something like this.
I don't know. It could be a different thing, I guess. I just figured it would be nice to have the same like API no matter what. But sure, if you want a separate function, that's fine too.
Well, events doesn't really like it does like if we're gonna return. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. My brain is exploding. I'm trying to figure
Your
out.
brain is not braining.
No.
Okay,
So
so if
we
you take
return.
example on full calendar, for example, right, which is
Yeah. No. I,
the
I
thing.
I think I understand what you're trying to accomplish and how. I'm just not figuring. I'm not figuring out how to do it in a
Well, let's see
clean
how they
way.
do it, right? So they have a function. So
Who's
when
they?
full calendar, if we take an example at full calendar, they have event sources, which is an array of event sources, and if there's a
Okay.
success or a failure, they have a callbacks. So they have a
Okay.
callback for success when the response was successfully fetched, and they have a
Okay.
callback for failure, and that's basically what we should do.
All right.
And they
So
have another
basically,
thing
we
called
have,
initial events if you want to load events while the function is refreshing.
and their function is called events.
And yes,
They
it's
have
called events.
ID, name, events, and they have on error.
Yes.
And they have what on success? No, that wouldn't make any sense.
You can pull the documentation if you want. I just sent it to you the link.
Yeah, I'm just curious why you want to copy exactly what they have.
Well,
Okay,
because this way you
so
could replace full calendar with our thing without having to, you know, learn too much new things.
okay. Okay, so this option is used instead of events option. Var calendar equals new calendar, calendar element, event sources.
Yeah. So for us, it's called sources. That's already a difference, right?
Yeah,
And so
and then what?
full
But this is
calendar
just
has
we're just
three
passing a
ways.
file in there.
No. Full calendar has three ways to fetch. One, you can pass the events in the source as an array. So your source is just a static array of events, right?
Okay.
Two, you can pass a function. And three, you can pass it as a JSON feed. And this event.php that you saw is just a page online that returns a feed of events. So it's an iCal subscription. So it's able to read that iCal subscription from the feed and just return that, right?
Okay, and then as a function, success function fetch info success callback failure callback. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And the user would decide when they call the success callback or the failure callback, right?
Okay. But I'm looking at this as an array, and all they have is the title of the event and when it starts. So that this is already different than what you have because you have an ID and a name, and then you have events,
Yes.
which is all. This is already different. So you're
That's
already
because you're not
breaking.
looking at the same. No, you're not looking at the same thing. Here, you're looking at the event. Like title, start, and end. This is an event, not a source. The source is events, and the only thing they pass in their source here is events. We need an ID and a name on top of it. But
Because we want multiple sources.
yes, which you can do in full calendar as well. Like if you look at event sources, you can totally do that if you want. Click on
Right.
that. Yeah, there you go. Right? Like you can pass other things to it. It's just that full calendar does it slightly different than we do. Right?
Google
But you see how
Calendar
it has an ID
ID.
anyway? It's optional because they can assign one like automatically, I guess, which we could also
Useful
do.
for get events by source ID. Okay. Class name. Only sets the event source's success callback, but only for this source. Failure callback, but only for this source. Okay. So if we go back to this or this one, so this guy right here.
Yes.
So is each calendar a separate source? So
No,
that you can
they're
only have one source per calendar.
no, you can have multiple. It's just that their example here only shows one. So what they decide to do is if you pass a function to events, that's one source. If you want to use multiple source, you have to use event sources instead of events. But we don't have to
Event
do that because for us
sources.
we go straight up to source, right?
Oh, event sources. So in this case, I can send this feed and I could send a function.
Yeah. Well, yes. Technically, they try to read that feed automatically because that's an iCal subscription.
Yeah. But this is just the example they're giving. In theory, one of these could be a function and the other could
It
be
could
an
be an
array.
object. Yeah, it could be an object. I can actually show you examples because I use that on one of my projects.
Okay.
So
Okay.
event sources in full calendar is just an array of either strings, if you want to call like an iCal subscription, or it could be an object that contains an events function, and that events function will return that function that you see here, right? So that's one source.
Okay, end function. Success callback. Okay, so do we create this function and they pass us?
No, they
So
create the function. We
they
create the
create the
success
function.
callback and the failure callback, so that we
Okay,
can display
so
an error if it fails, or if this, in the case of the success, we can add the events to the
so
calendar.
we kind of do like something like this: on success, on fail,
Pretty much, yeah. But
and
we
then we
need the
say
first part as
const
well. Take a look at the first parameter. Their first
info.
parameter has the info about the calendar. And you see how they have info start, info end? That's how they know what is visible in the calendar right now.
Oh, this is the calendar. Oh.
Right?
Wait, if that's the case, though, that means that this function is from us. It has to be. Otherwise,
No,
we can't pass
no,
the
no.
info.
It's from them, but we call it because
We call it, yes. Okay, I
we
see.
call it with those parameters, but they define it. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
they can
okay,
use this
so
info how many ways they want. Yeah,
something like this. But it means that whoever implements this has to make sure that what they're fetching can accept the parameters.
yes, and if it
Okay.
doesn't, then they can just fetch them like whatever. Yeah, like
Yeah,
they don't
so
really care.
then we can do dot then on success dot catch on failure, something like this.
Sure.
And actually,
And
this
then the
should
on
probably
success
be
for us is something that we implement. That is a callback that we
yes,
give.
but I assume that we expect it to be JSON, right? So this should be
So this should be an array of
response.json.
events. Yeah, it should be an array of events. That's the expected like success. And the
And on
failure,
failure, we'll just probably
yeah,
toss what failed, and
some kind of error. Yeah.
they'll just do whatever. Okay, and then response. So const sources. Okay, I see this. So how do we export function new calendar? So this would actually go inside of here.
Yes.
This gets tricky, actually. We can't put it in there.
Now, that's because we haven't changed the type yet.
No, it's because if we throw an array in there, then the array is new every time. So every single time you load this page, you'd recall this hook. You would almost need this. This would have to. This is the same thing we ran into. I don't know if maybe you weren't there for that for the metrics dashboard that I built.
No.
Because I was passing it an object for its configuration, every time you change the state on something, it actually re-triggered the entire hook, but you didn't want it to, and it re-triggered it because your hook is checking if sources still equals sources, and since it's just an array,
Yeah.
it actually since it's a newly instantiated array, it actually did change, and the hook refires, which we don't necessarily want.
Yeah. I mean, this one is outside of your function technically, so it won't regenerate the array.
If I bring it outside here, now I should be able to put it in here.
Yeah.
This should be okay. Okay, so we do ID name, which I'm just going to give this like default calendar. Default source, sure. And then we take an events, which takes in info, which would be sure, and then on success and
Yeah.
okay.
Like right now it's that, but maybe we can type info at some point so that it's like obvious what we're doing.
This
And so the
gets
on
interesting.
success here
We
will take
actually
an
hold
array.
on here. We can't actually put this outside. We need to be able to set state.
Why? That's what our calendar thing is supposed to do.
Oh, duh. We take in there. Yes, I see what you're saying. So I
That's what
can
the on
do,
success callback is doing.
yeah, async. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, this. Why does it not properly type that?
I have no idea.
Import. I'm suspecting we don't have a core installed. We don't, because it's doing use calendar from Datekit React. Okay. So import date kit event. Okay, it is installed. Interesting. Okay, so use calendar is actually incorrect because its type is wrong. And I suspect it's because we changed events to a function, so it was have to go into use calendar.
Yeah, so we need to be able to support both. So it can either be an array of events or a function. And that function will have the signature that we just decided.
Yeah, this one right here. So this would be events array or I guess we're gonna have to properly make it type for this, but
Yeah.
for now we'll. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, I did not want to do that there. My bad. I want to actually do that inside of the proper package. Oh. Oh, was that actually the right? No, that's the dist. Definitely not. Okay. So we'll go event right here. There.
And it actually returns. I don't know if we should return directly the array of events or not. Maybe not. I mean, we could force the type of return actually. This way we wouldn't necessarily need. I know we still need the onSuccess callback to set our state.
Yeah. Okay. So let's grab. Yeah. What's the complaint here? Info is never used. Of course not. But what's the complaint? Maybe Cursor can help us out here.
Do you need the extra parentheses around the function?
It's the one that added it, but what the heck? What is that?
Yeah, that's definitely not correct.
All right, let's go back because clearly that did not work. It keeps adding those. Okay, so function return void. Let's do type event loader. Sure. Okay. It doesn't like that we're putting all of these, but we're returning void. But
Info
wait,
is defined, never used.
how come we made Datekit? Oh, we made the type generic probably for the metadata. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't think it matters though. Those are just warnings, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So as soon as we start using it, like it should be okay.
Okay, so now we go into page. We should
What's your
not get an
plugin,
error
by the
anymore.
way, to show the TypeScript errors straight up in line?
You like it, right? It's error lens.
Error lines.
Yeah, I love error lens. If you like make a mistake here, like see, rather than me having to
That's
hover
pretty
it,
handy.
just shows me. Super handy. Okay, we don't actually care about awaiting this because we're not doing anything with the response anymore. Okay. Okay, so API events. So actually, we have to we now have to take those two things. So inside of here, we have to say search params. Wait, search params? I don't think it's search params. Isn't it query params? Oh, maybe it is search params. Okay. And then we'll say return events.filter. Oops, sorry, not return. Const filtered events.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Events.start is greater than or equal to new start. Events.end is less than equal. Cannot be applied to string and date.
You need
So
to
in our
convert your event start.
yeah,
That's
so this
JSON, so it's not a date.
yeah, what are we using? Is it day.js or do we care? Do you want to just do new date?
Yeah, you could just do new date. I don't really care for the API endpoint. But you do have
New
access to
date.
date.js if you want.
Start date and new date. Oops. And
I mean,
what the heck?
Datekit itself is using date.js to kind of calculate everything. I guess we could have done it without it, but I just didn't want to deal with the date API.
No overload matches this call. Ah, this might be null. I see. I guess we can just say if no start date, no end date. Okay. It's just for our stuff for now. All right. So now we have the ability to fetch the events based on start and end. We actually probably don't care if there's an end date. Okay.
Well,
All right.
there should be one, because if you don't have like a set boundary, you don't really know how many events you're supposed to return.
Yeah. Okay, so this should be good in theory. So if we now go to, oops, let me close the rest of these. Actually, it was Page, this guy. Okay, so we now have use calendar, which takes in sources. Sources is right here. We have our default source, and we have our fetcher. Okay,
Yeah.
so now use calendar has to handle this. Core packages, core packages, React.
So you see how
Source.
you see the use calendar here? You actually don't have to use sources. If you want, you can just pass an array of events inside of events directly in the use calendar. In which case, we don't use the.
Yeah, but you said you wanted to test the sources, right? Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah. I'm just saying it's optional for people. It's the same thing as full calendar.
Okay, so in our case, now we have to check for sources.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say const. We have to loop each source and check if they have events as a function. So we basically have to if I pass in multiple sources, one of which so you want to trigger the sources every time somebody changes the view. If I change the view to day, I would go back through the sources and essentially filter them one by one down to the events that match that parameter.
Yes, provided that they have a function, right? If it's an array, we just ignore them because they'll be there no matter what. But if it's a function, then yes, we retrigger that function to fetch the proper events.
Okay. I'm trying to think how we would do this. So we need a use effect hook that triggers on actually no, we probably want a memo hook. Wait a minute. We're on a memo for.
So we have hooks already when you change the date and stuff because it recalculates, you know, the rest of the calendar, right? Like if you're in week view, for example, it's going to
Yeah.
recalculate like which days you need to show and all that stuff. So we can leverage that to also reload events. So I think a reload event function would be helpful. And that
Yeah, because
reload
I'm just
event,
looking at this hook here, and there's nothing to do with sources inside of it.
not
It
yet, no. So we should have like a reload sources or something like that that can reload these.
Yeah. Where's the hook that triggers? Oh, it's the
So
the view
yeah,
switcher.
the view switcher and date switcher. Yeah.
So use Datekit. Set view. Use
Yes.
Datekit. What's use Datekit?
It's the context. Yeah. If you go to the date switcher, it's probably more obvious,
Use Datekit.
right? You can see how I can set the current date inside of the context.
Where's this hook though?
It's in the datekit context.tsx.
Datekit context. Right here. Okay. Okay, so Datekit provider, which takes in a calendar. And calendar, man, there's a lot to this. Okay, so then we have, so this is the calendar. So
Yeah.
we have a use calendar hook that takes in sources,
Yes.
but then we pass that calendar to calendar.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is basically like a singleton that you can kind of reuse.
Yeah, I think that's where I got disconnected. Was I was thinking that each calendar was a different calendar. So maybe I
No.
misled you with this hook.
So there's a calendar which is there's only one, right? Then we
Yeah,
have
no, but I
sources.
think I misled you with this hook because originally I think my thought was that we would have a calendar right here with a use calendar and you'd pass it a single source and a view.
Yeah.
And then you would do the same and the same and the same for each source.
No.
But yeah, I do see what
It's,
you're saying. You would
it's
rather
one
pass
calendar.
all the sources to one.
Yeah. Unless you
Okay.
have unless you actually display multiple calendars in your app, but in which case you would call your components twice, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Okay, so then we pass calendar to calendar. Calendar is our date kit context.
yes, and I think part of it
Oh,
is
it's
in
actually
calendar
not. Sorry, it's right
TSX. Yeah.
here. Calendar is our date kit provider, which comes in, takes in the calendar component. Calendar component is our view. Okay. Okay, so this is where we want to do something. So basically, calendar component, use datekit. Okay, so in our datekit context, we have used datekit, which simply switches the view. Wait, children calendar. Go back to calendar, calendar component, view selected view. I don't see view and selected view
It's a
here.
singleton, right? So your calendar TSX actually uses the core. So those functions like add event, remove events, or whatever, they're in the calendar on the core package.
They're in the calendar on the core package, core source calendar.
Right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, and you already have a refresh.
Well, that's to refresh the state of the calendar itself, because every time you change the date that you display or the view, you need to recalculate which days need to be shown, right? So that's what it's doing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have the view. When we switch the view, we want to refetch the sources based on the data. So in order to refetch the sources, though, we need the calendar because we need the sources that are a part of it.
Yeah, but the core can do that for you.
Yeah.
So inside of the core calendar, you could have a function called refetch or whatever, and it would go through the sources and call those functions again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking exactly. So you would go in this calendar and you'd put a a
Yes.
refetch essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that would happen when we set view.
When we
So
set view
we
or
basically
when
have to
we
have a this dot refresh
events, yeah, or
uh
something.
re- refresh sources, wouldn't it?
Refresh sources, yeah, it works.
Yeah. So then we would have, I guess it would also be private. So this dot state dot sources. Yeah, okay. So we do have sources here. Okay.
And we assume that if people are using sources, they're not using the events. So you see,
Okay.
scroll at the top. You can use events or sources. If you use events and no sources, this array of events here is all you have. But if you use sources, we reserve the right to just empty that events array and just replace it with the events that we receive from your API
Okay.
or from
Okay.
your
I
sources.
see. So basically, yeah, we're I see. I see. Okay. So every time we refresh, essentially then we're saying that this dot events is an empty array.
Essentially, yeah.
Although for
Maybe
some
there's a
reason it
more
doesn't let
efficient
me
way
do
to do
that.
it at some point, if the events are
Oh, yeah, but
similar or whatever, but
state. Okay. So this dot state dot events. And then we want to do a loop over each source. So for each source, we want to say if type of source events is a function,
yes.
then source events, this dot state dot selected dot current, this dot state dot selected dot current. Do we want the end date to be the same? No, this would be.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
the
how would we? Oh, because if it's day view, then the end date is the current. If it's okay, this is where we need to know the view
well,
they're
scroll
in.
back up. Scroll back up.
Yeah.
You have today current, and from there we also have the view. So we might need to maintain like what those boundaries are, right? But if you're in day view, your current is basically the beginning of the day and the end of the day. If you're in week view, then you need to fetch the first date in that array and the last date in that array. Month view is the same thing, but you need to fetch that from the days array.
Yeah.
And
But
then for the year, it's even more tricky because you have to fetch that from the first object month and their first days. Like, yeah. So
yeah, but hold on though, because our year view is let's see that. Oh crap, did I break something? Our year view is just all the calendars. Do you actually want to show events for an entire year?
that's one thing I didn't know. Like, I thought the year view was helpful, but in terms of events, like, all we could show is probably like little dots that show you, like, oh, this day
Yeah.
has some events or whatever. But I feel like it would be difficult to show the events there unless we have some kind of hover state. If you hover over a date, we show like a pop up with the events. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Okay.
This
Well, if
one is
that's the
tricky.
case,
This
then
view is tricky.
yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, we need to know. Okay. Yeah. So we need to know the start and end. So we can
Yes,
simply say uh, const start
but maybe the
date
core could maintain the start and
equals.
end every single time.
You want to maintain the start
Yeah.
and end every time.
So every time we set the view, we calculate what is the start date and the end date, and we keep it in the core at all times.
Oh, every time they change the view? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so like here.
Yeah.
we
This way you can
basically,
always know like when is the beginning and when is the end of the current view.
yeah, so this would be like this dot set,
Set start and set like end, I guess.
do you want to do them all do them both in one function, or
Yeah, we could have like a set boundaries, I guess, something like that.
set view,
How do you call
set,
it? Like a span, a time span? No. How do you set period? Period. That might be a good.
all right, let's try it. Okay, so then we basically have to create that. So set period, period does not have anything here. We also now have to add that to our state. So we'll call this period start end.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is part of calendar state.
Yeah,
Which
but it
apparently
should be
is not-
calculated when we change the view, when we set the current date, and also in the constructor because that is not currently correct. If the current date is today, then in the depending on the view, that period is different. So we need to know in the constructor what is the view that they want when
Yeah,
the
so right
component first
here we
run.
basically, so actually we
So
actually have
after
to
the
do
refresh,
const view equals options or this, and then we can now set this to view. And then we can actually just say period equals this dot set period view.
sure, but set period doesn't return anything. It's just a void function that will set the period. So you could just call it after this dot refresh.
Oh, good point. Yes. So actually, I didn't have to do that part then. I can just cut that back out. Okay. Oh, yeah, options. So this dot refresh, this dot set period.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
would. And then
Okay.
set period just looks at that view, which now we know by doing like this dot get view, we know which view it is, and then we just calculate it.
View this dot. What the hell?
So
Damn
we
it,
don't
cursor.
have those functions, but yeah.
No, but I also don't think. Can we actually get it from there? So we have the current date. Okay, yeah, maybe we can. You know what? Let's let cursor fly. Let's see what they say. Okay, so start date, end date. Wait, what? Why did it say get period?
Well, that's just a set. That's just a getter. We might want to keep it because it could be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn this freaking cursor. Just give me my fucking code. Okay. Come on. It gave me a good
Yeah,
start there.
we're gonna need get period anyway, so you can keep that one, and then
Yeah.
get period start.
So in this case, I'm very curious where it's thinking
I
about
try to
going.
actually call these like calculate as opposed to get because we're not really getting the value. Like getting the value is getting something from the state of this class.
Yeah, it's treating it as a getter. So we can
So yeah,
say generate period start, generate period end.
I think I use calculate for the other methods. Like if you look at the refresh function, you'll see that most of the functions in there are called calculate.
There. Okay. All right.
Scroll down, scroll down.
Calculate.
Wait. Scroll down. You see how those
It's
functions are
they're all
not in there?
generate.
Okay, so let's use generate, and if we could put them in the same file, that would be great.
Generate. Put them in the
Because they're
same file.
Yeah, because they're not part of that class. Because if you put them as part of this class, that means that anybody can call those functions anytime. We don't want it as part of the public API. So that's why they're part of another thing.
Hold the phone here. What are you going on about? There everything in this.
Put it in
Oh,
this,
like
yeah,
generate is not part of this class?
yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, I see. All right, so we actually want to get rid of
Yeah.
those.
Because any function on this class are kind of like public, except for the ones that are explicitly marked as private. But yeah.
All right. Apparently, we want to export a function generate period start that returns generate period start.
Yeah, no, let's not.
Good
do
job, cursor.
that.
Okay, so we want to. I assume we actually want to do a switch here.
But you could do a switch for the view because
Yeah,
I mean,
return
that is handy.
switch view. Okay, so if it's day view.
If
Oh,
it's
my
day
bad.
view, we need the
My
beginning
bad.
of the
I
day.
always try to return a switch. I don't know why. Okay, so switch view. If it's day view, we want to return date.
So we need selected.
But we actually want to return the very beginning, correct? So we want
You want the beginning of the day. So it's start
yeah.
of day.
Yeah, so this would be, do we have day.js in here?
There is day.js in here. Yeah.
There we go.
But if you use the selected date, I mean, you could. Well, yeah, it's up to you.
What's
Is
that?
that day.js or is it like date FNS? I don't remember.
Oh, you're in date
Date
FNS.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's, hold on, you even have start of week. So do they have start of day?
They have start of day.
Why would you try and do perfect? I notice you have them all. So end of day. There. Okay. Okay, so we can say start of day date, and we actually don't need that anymore. And start of week, we don't need that anymore. Start of month, start of year. Oh, apparently we don't actually have that one. Okay. And end of year. Okay. Where did that go? What is that? Percent %S? Nope.
It's up.
Oh, there we go. Period start. Okay. Okay, so now we want to do period end.
And that's the same thing, but with end. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Pretty basic.
Okay, that's easy enough. So then we import that guy, we import that guy, and there we go. I think.
Yeah. So we should have the
We
right period.
also don't need this, and we definitely don't need it as a getter. We can just do this .state.view.
You could, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now that we have period, when we say refresh sources, we can then use the period. So this dot type of source equals event. Then we want the start date to equal this dot state dot start. We want the end to be end. And we want to do
Yeah, pretty much.
start date, end date. What's this? What's the deal here? Oh, it expected. Yes. So this is our on success, and we need an on failure. So we actually need to call their. Yeah, but how do we get their failure?
Well, full calendar passes it as on the source. So remember how the source can have like a success and it can have like a failure.
Yeah.
Callbacks.
Yeah, exactly. So we have source.events equals a function. That function takes in this. It takes in on. So the on failure is error. But I guess that's the piece that I'm trying to figure out here is where
Right now you can just return like a basic error handler, and then later we'll look at how people can override those handlers potentially. Because right now we don't want to overcomplicate the thing. So yeah, as of right now, just do that. However, we might need to. I don't know why this push. Oh, you probably need to type this.
Yeah, it because it's unknown. But that should be passed by them, right?
Yeah, but see how it says not assignable to parameter of type date event record string array.
Yeah,
So
which means it's
probably just a typing issue. Yeah, there you go. So here we need some kind of generic.
I thought it was generic. Yeah, it is generic. T equals unknown.
Yeah, but it's not when we set in the class when we set the thing.
Oh, I see.
Like
So you wanted to put
here,
it here?
it's not generic. Yeah. So, well, if you do
I
that, then
definitely don't
it's
want.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
want the T, right?
you do want the T.
And then
But
we want
then
to say
you can
equals unknown.
yeah, just put it like a default.
So this isn't generic? Yeah, it is generic. Wait, it's already generic and it's
It's
already
already
unknown.
yeah, it's already unknown, so it should be okay then. How come it
Yeah, what's
doesn't?
the...
But is the date event one unknown as well?
This one says is not assignable to record string any. Type
Yes.
unknown is not assignable to type
So
record string
something is
any.
expecting this any.
So source events unknown.
There's
Date event
something
source
somewhere
unknown.
that thinks that it's any, and I have a feeling it's the state.
State is sources unknown.
And the events above?
Oh, hold on. Calendar state. Oh yeah, no, it's unknown. The events
But what about
above.
the events above here?
Ah, record string any.
Yeah. So this one is not correct. 934, what does it say? If you hover over line 34.
Line 34. Record string any.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
there we
go.
go. Okay. Okay, so now are we good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, so how exactly, I guess that's the piece I'm missing. How exactly is error even caught? Where are we actually, we're calling this
That's a
function.
that's a callback that they will call. Like we provide them the callbacks that they need to call in their method, right?
Yep.
So this error callback here is for us to display our own error. But then if they want to display an extra error, they can also do that in their own function. Like we don't really care about that.
Okay.
So this one is just for us.
So console.error is fine? This
Sure.
seems weird.
Well, we'll keep it
Okay.
like this for now, and then later, if we want to provide
All
some
right,
overrides or whatever,
looks
we'll do
like we're
that.
in.
Are we?
I mean, the playground loaded. It was
Yeah, but
broken before.
are we loading some events?
That I don't know. Let's find out. I guess now that it's all fixed. Let's see. Playground API events. So let's just grab our mock data. So we have annual company retreat, and it starts
In July.
on July. Okay, so if we just pop this guy back to July, I do not see it there. It was July 7th.
Well, the month, I don't think the month view has any display of events yet.
Oh, okay. Let's go day view then. Oh, crashed.
Yep.
Events.filter is not a function. Return is same day.
So events is not an array anymore.
That's not possible.
Well, that's where
How
we
is that
indicate.
possible?
I don't
How
know.
is that possible? Okay,
You tell me.
so filtered events. Oh, this is our stuff. Sorry. That was same day. Whoops. No, I want to do. I can never remember what the global search one is. So is same day. It's inside of views. Is same day. Nope, that's not it. We want the actual function, this one. Okay, so events, current. Okay, so where is it called? It's called here, date and today, date and selected. This is generate month view. Okay.
Yeah, you might want to be careful with that because there's a date utils called is same day, and there's also the date FNS is same day. It's not the same. The one that you're looking at right now is the one from date FNS. So that one
Yeah.
is correct.
Why
That
do
one
we
is
have our
correct.
own that's the same? This we
That
shouldn't
one I
have
don't
this.
know. Yeah, we should probably find something.
Yeah,
Or
we
actually, we should get rid of this one unless we use it somewhere.
it looks like we use it here. Yeah, we use it here.
Okay, so yeah, it should be different for this one.
Sources.map return is same day source.events.
So it's trying to fetch the events. This should be a filter and not is same day.
You know what it is? It's actually because source.events is our function right now.
It's a function, yeah.
Okay. So
But,
yeah,
but we don't need to. We don't need to load the source. So that is wrong. This whole thing is wrong. It should not load the events from the source. It should load the events from the main events array
yes.
from the core.
Yes. Okay, so that's going to be events then in this case.
Yes, and it should load this at all times. And
And
even
then
if we have a
this,
source that happens to be an array, then it's okay because our core will load those events into our main array, right?
yeah. And now
And
we
this
don't
could just be
care
a
about
filter.
is same day. Well, technically, we don't even have to filter it because we're filtering at a core level. We should just be able to map it, no?
I guess, yeah. Well, no, because if we have static events, those won't be filtered.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so we do a dot.
However, on our core, we could have a function that returns the event for the current period.
Actually, hold on here. We have let's go back to that function calendar. So we say else events dot push. We
Yeah.
actually could do source dot events dot filter.
We could filter here, or we could have a getter that returns the period event. Or the whatever. What do we have a getter for
Oh.
events? Do we have a get events?
We do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. So
Yes.
filter at this level.
You want to filter at get events?
Yeah, this way it's always filter.
Ooh, okay. So we can say const filtered events return event the start is greater than and return is end. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. This way it's always filtered, and
Yep.
then anywhere in our code we need to use get events to get the events to load on the views.
Okay. Yeah, so then we do Datekit, which I assume you're already doing in there. Calendar
You can get it from the use that kit technically. I think it's mapped.
from use Datekit
I think it's mapped. Yeah.
right here, right? Datekit context. But yeah, this is just mapped to. So we have add event, remove event, set view, and set current. There's no set events.
No, but go into the hooks like use calendar. Is it the one? Yeah. So here, these guys, you can map it. No?
Map it. Get state. Oh, we're using get state for the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could map a function. So you could do const get events or get period events or whatever. What did we call it? Get events. Yeah. Get events, and it calls the get event onto the calendar ref. Yeah. And just returns that, and then you pass it in the object below, and that will be available on your hook.
Yeah, but we don't want it there. No. We want it within state, which we already have.
Oh, so it should be there then, because the state is
Yeah.
just like the.
No, but we need to set that state, right? So we have set current, which is update state, remove event, add event, set view, which updates state. So yeah, they're all calling an update state, which I assume comes from. Wait, where does that come from? Update state.
But you don't
Oh,
need
it's right
to
here.
set it.
It's right here. Get state.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we actually need though is we need to look at the get state function in calendar. That's what we need to do. So get state right here just returns this dot state. So we actually want to filter the events before this, right? Because get events, where is this even used actually? We're not even using it.
But not yet. But we need to use it to display the events everywhere.
Well, that's my point though, is events are already in state and we're already setting the state, right? We're setting the events right here. We're just, like you said, not filtering them at this level. So we have a choice. We just filter them right here.
Sure.
Or inside of get state, we return this dot state events, this dot get events, and events are filtered.
Yeah, that's a conundrum. Because if the user uses a static source with like an array of arrays, we do want those arrays in the state, those events in the state.
Yeah, we don't want to get rid of them.
Because if we get rid of them, then we can't bring them back. Unless we reload the sources from the very beginning. So we want to keep them there. It's just a display of them that should be filtered.
Yeah.
Try this for now. Try
What?
this for now.
Well, hold on though. What if Oh, wait, how do we do that? What if we no, that would be storing double of the data. We don't want to do that. I see what you're saying. We can keep it like this, but we will
I
have
mean,
to
we're
fix
not
it.
changing the source. So those events, if they are hard coded, should be in the source if you're using the source, right?
That's true. So you'd change it over, go over the source again, and then yeah, you would not filter it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Now,
see what happens.
would it still work if we use the basic version, which is you not using sources and you just use the events array?
Yes, because you're setting the events directly. So yeah, it should work, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
we
would it
have the
filter?
well, because we're returning this dot state and events, which gets this dot events. So basically, what would happen is the same thing. We would just filter those events based
Yes.
on events and return them.
Yes, but now if somehow the states get set again, then you're losing the events that you set in the beginning when you call the use calendar.
Oh, because you don't have sources.
Because you don't use sources, yeah.
So what if we? Oh, but that's still more data. Damn it! I'm thinking
One
like
more option. One more option is don't allow using events directly. If you want to use hard coded events, just create one single source. Like
actually.
bucket.
Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. This. No, we're good. We're good. This is filtered events, which is filter, which returns a new array.
Yes. My worry is if we pass the state into a set state function of some kind.
But we don't, right? We have get, so here, look, we have get state, which returns a spread of state, and then events, which is this dot get events. This dot get events is a function that filters the events. This creates a new array. If you're
Yeah.
that worried about it, though, we can just dot this and create a completely brand new
I'm not
array
super
filtering it.
worried. I'm just thinking maybe we don't need the raw events at all.
Oh,
Like for the user, I mean, like the user of the Datekit component just uses sources. And if you only have one, you just put one source. Like I would think.
That could be easy too.
This way,
That
the
could be
events
easy
is kind
too.
of private to us.
Yeah, yeah,
We can do whatever the hell we want with it.
yeah. That's fair. All right, cool. Let's operate on that assumption. Okay, so now that we've made that change, the question is,
Will it work? But I think,
oh,
yeah, we need
we
the
have to
debut.
switch to day view.
So, what date was it? Your event?
Oh, I think it was the 7th. Oh, can I not click on it? Oh, whoops. I'll have to change
Yeah,
that.
we might want to fix that. Okay, so it's not there,
It was not the 7th, or it wasn't the 7th. Let's.
or it wasn't the 7th. But
Oh,
also
so
that
many
little
things
calendar on the
open.
side, I would love to be able to show.
It was the 15th. It was the 15th. Oops. Oh, wait, we're in day view.
Yeah, and you have to use yeah, because we can't click on the things.
Yeah, but this
So you
switches
got
the month.
yeah, you need to use the one at the top. Yeah,
Oh,
well, we'll fix that, but yeah. So it's still not there.
no, it's still not there. Okay. All right, let's do some debugging. Let's go.
Hmm.
I'm curious. I'm just going to close everything.
So you could log the entire state, so we can keep track of the state that is happening. Like maybe we should actually have a debug mode where we show the state at all times.
Yeah, I just want to console log calendar. Oh, yeah, this should be fine. Okay, so if I console log calendar, I should be able to. Oof, so
Ooh,
many errors. Okay, let's kill this. Let's switch over to day view
holy shit!
and
Yeah.
let's flip into July. Okay, so here we go. So we have our sources.
Yeah, but our events array is empty.
Our events array is empty. Yeah. Okay, so we do have our sources though. Okay, so I guess the next check is, are we actually hitting that endpoint? So
Good question.
we'll go into API, into
I mean,
events,
you
into
don't.
route,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna simply console log fetching events. Okay, I'm just gonna swap this day to here. We'll just go to the 15th, which is where we're supposed to be. And that would actually be in my terminal if I logged that. Get events, look at this, equals Monday, November. So we did call it.
Yeah, but we called it initially. So that's the first call for November 25th. No.
Ooh, you're correct. We didn't call it on change. Okay, so yeah, that is the very first.
So we need to go into the day switcher
Command
and also call
B
it there.
day
Date
view.
switcher. There's a date switcher.
Oh, date switcher. Date switcher. This one.
Yeah. So is
Okay,
this? It's calling the
set
set current,
current.
but we do call the refetch on the set current, don't we?
Let's find out. That's in calendar, right?
Yeah. Oh, but set current is no, it's not
Set
calling.
current, you're calling refresh.
But we're
So all
not
we have to do
calling.
is this dot refresh sources.
Yeah, but you also need set period because you just changed the current date, and you need set
Okay,
period before you refresh the source.
yeah. So what we're actually going to do is do refresh calendar.
Okay, yeah, the API is
This
not
dot
the
refresh.
greatest.
Yeah, we'll change it for now, but this dot refresh. It's all about just getting it working. This
Yeah,
dot
but we'll have to
ref.
clean this up because
Oh,
it's pretty gross.
definitely. Definitely. Okay, so we care about setting the period before or after refresh.
Ideally before.
Okay,
This way you
ideally
set the
before.
period,
Okay,
then you calculate what date needs to be shown, and then you refresh the
yeah.
source date.
I'm almost wondering if we should have just combined refresh and refresh sources into the same.
No, I think if two of them belong together, is the set period and the refresh, because the set period should call the refresh actually. Okay, do you have the set period somewhere?
Yeah, right here.
that one should call a refresh. That would make more sense.
This
And
dot
then
refresh sources.
just refresh. Yeah, no, just
Oh, just
refresh. And then the refresh method, if you go onto it, should use the period to figure it out.
should use the period.
Oh, but it can't. It cannot. Yeah, my bad. No, forget about it. Forget what I said.
Oh, okay. So get rid of that refresh.
Yeah.
Where was that? That was in set period.
It doesn't work because the way with the refresh, which needs a better name because it's not very indicative of what it's doing, but it's
Yes.
doing the internal like mechanics to figure out which day needs to be shown on the calendar. But sometimes, like the day view, for example, you not only have one day, but you also have the month to display the little calendar on the side. So this one is tricky. You know,
Okay, so it's still not.
we still don't have events, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah,
you're
it's
logging.
still
Where
not
are you
calling
logging
it.
the calendar though?
I'm logging the calendar at the root of the page,
Yeah, but it's not
but we're
changing.
also logging the API call here, right?
Oh yeah, so it's
So
not calling.
it's not
But
calling it.
it's probably because our set current is a
Oh, my bad. We forgot to actually tell set current to do it. Oh no, we didn't. Yeah,
no,
it's
we
right
did.
here.
Yeah, but there's no wait. Your refresh sources could be async,
Oh.
so it might not wait for it.
Well, we definitely don't need to await this one.
And your refresh source is actually not async.
There.
Yeah, but you need an await on the events as well.
On the events?
Yeah,
Oh, on
source
get
events.
events. Oh.
Like this guy. This
Oh,
guy could
now
potentially be async.
now suddenly
Just put a space. Click in between and put a space.
click in between where?
Here, put a space.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, weird. Await expressions are only allowed within async
Right.
functions at
But
the
you're
top
calling
level of
this inside of
modules.
a for each.
Oh, yeah. There.
That's not gonna always work
That's
though.
not gonna work either. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do await promise all, and let's do a map.
yeah, that might be a little better.
There we go. And then should should auto tab us here. There we go. Okay. So now we don't have to await that though, right? Because we
Well,
made it
you
async.
do need to return it then.
We're in a promise all.
Yeah, but return it doesn't hurt.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if that worked. I
I don't
should
know,
refresh this.
but
I
you
don't know
should have
either.
some calls when you're changing stuff.
Okay, so we just called for Tuesday, October 2000. Tuesday, October. Okay, let's hit it again.
September.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's go back to July.
But wait, the start date and
And
the end date are not correct on that call.
yeah, you're right. Oh, hold on. This one is
No,
end date. Like this, like our period is correct.
it's not correct. We're in the months view. It should show July 31st. Oh,
It
sorry, I
it
can't read
does.
from here. Okay.
Yeah. This one says July 1st, July 31st for period.
Yeah, I
But I
just can't
think
read
you're
from here.
right. This call. Oh, I mean, I can't decipher what this actually says. July 1st and Wednesday, July 31st. Yeah, this is correct. This is
Yeah,
within
but
the
you
correct
you
time.
might need to pass that start date in a different format because your API probably doesn't understand what the fuck that is. So
Probably.
you need to pass it as an ISO.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's try that.
Because yeah, it's probably trying to do like a two string on it and just like saying whatever it is.
Also, we should fix this before we
Yeah, yeah,
go any
yeah.
further, because otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so this is actually probably why it broke.
It's
E-
pretty
e-
close. Yeah.
Even if we got it right, it would have failed.
It is.
Okay, so let's do events dot map, right? Because we filter already, so
Events
now
dot
we
map. Yeah, we do the filtering, so you can remove this.
can actually just go like this,
Yeah,
and we really should not use event.
why not?
Because it's an actual keyword inside of JavaScript. Like
It's not. What do you mean?
if so, like let's say for example, I have event here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, what would happen if I call a function in here? Like I'm not saying I'm going to, but what would happen if I called a function like an on click? Like imagine I returned a button. Okay,
Yeah.
actually, let's just do it. Let's just do button, and I say on click
Yeah.
equals event
Just pass whatever name you
return.
want.
Yeah, I know.
It it doesn't have to be event. It could be anything you want.
Well, I know that, but I like typing event because it's event. I understand people like ease. This is
Okay.
personal preference, man.
Okay. But it's not a keyword
Uh,
though. So
fair,
with a capital
fair.
E, it would be.
This is unknown date kit. I guess there's nothing we can really do at that point. So it doesn't know that meta color. So we'll just do as any.
Yeah, whatever.
As any for now.
Oh no, just
What?
type it. It's the colon.
Okay. All right. Now that we've got that fixed, what's the error now?
Failed to compile. Do we have an error somewhere else?
Oh, right here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now if we actually properly load the events, which I don't think we are yet, but
No, I still think you need to pass the ISO string as for the date
yeah,
because
let's try it.
your API cannot handle this like two string thing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be in page.
So either we pass the ISO or we could pass a timestamp as well.
Oh, wait, we're passing the start date.
Yeah, but the
Right.
start date here is a date, right? So you need to format it, otherwise it's going to call toString on it.
No, but I'm saying like we're passing it. So it's actually right here.
Yeah.
This guy.
So,
I need to convert this.
yes.
Yeah, so we'd say I'm assuming there's a date FNS conversion.
Should we pass like that's my question. Should we pass an ISO string or should we pass a timestamp?
I feel like a timestamp.
A timestamp would make more sense.
Well, hold on though. Could we want to do yeah, hold on. Does timestamp handle in a single string? Does timestamp handle like all the zones?
Yeah, it can.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that then.
I mean, technically, our thing should work in UTC, and the time zone is only for display.
Yeah, okay.
Ideally,
They have timestamp to date. No, that can't be right.
so
Let's do
so that we also need to convert it to UTC first before we send it to your API.
So we would want to handle that on our side, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. But ideally, the core, like for the current date, the start date, and the end date, all of that should be UTC.
Yes. Okay. So we can actually do that in the generate part. So we could just keep this as this.state.period.endDate. Oh my goodness, just set it back to what it was. Thank you. And in our
No. Actually, sorry. No, the core should be the time zone of the user that's loading the thing. And then when we send it, we need to convert it to UTC so that your API receives a UTC.
Okay, so generate period start would still return whatever they have.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because otherwise the
Although
period start would be wrong for the.
we're using their helper, so I'm assuming their helper just keeps it in their.
It keeps it in the current time zone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then
You have to
we're good
explicitly
there.
convert it to UTC.
Okay, so then that means that we actually do want to convert it right here. So how do you do to UTC?
That's a good question. I don't use DateFNS very often, but I think I started using it on this one because you said it was better.
I mean, I didn't say it was better. I said it was more
Lighter.
popular at the time.
There's a
I think
UTC date from DateFNS/UTC.
UTC date?
Yeah.
Like this? Like lowercase?
Yeah. UTC is all uppercase. And it's from DateFNS/UTC.
Do I need to
I think we might
import
have
a separate package from that?
We might need to. I think it's part of DateFNS actually. No, it's a separate package.
It's a separate package?
Yeah, separate package.
Okay. Okay, so PNPM I. What was it called? DateFNS.
It's at DateFNS. So at date-fns/UTC.
dash FNS slash.
And make sure you install it in the right
dash filter playground. No. This is in our own core. I'll give PNPM this one. It's so much easier to filter. Instead of like dash workspace equals and then the exact name, you can just give it the folder. Like that's pretty nice. Yes. Okay, so now I should be able to.
You can also filter multiple. If you wanted to like install it in the playground and in the core, you could do that.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so there we go. But it doesn't. Oh, you have to do new.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you convert it by doing this. It's a new constructor, and then from there.
To ISO string?
I don't know. ISO string would be the ISO format. What we want is the timestamp. So to Unix maybe? Do they have a Unix or something like that?
Let's see. What do they have? They have to date string, to ISO string,
to local, to
time string.
That's probably the one.
Okay, let's try it. Oops.
I'll double check just to make sure.
Okay, so now it's no longer assignable to type date because it's a string, so that actually makes sense. So that actually means that we change this guy to string.
Yeah, the docs is kind of garbage on data.
Oh, but we don't want. We actually want it to be. Oh, interesting.
Oh, there's a function called getUnixTime from DateFNS. You can pass a date to it.
Get Unix time?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, you still need to convert it to UTC though, I think.
You cannot.
No, you wrap it.
Oh.
So no, it's get Unix time. Well, yeah, but it needs a new. So
yeah,
new. And the get Unix time is wrapping the whole thing.
Oh, you wrap the other way.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this.
I don't know if it's gonna work though, because it's not a date, but
It looks like it worked.
Okay.
But it's still type number is not assignable to date.
Yeah, that's because now we need to change the type of this function because we're not passing two dates, we're passing two numbers.
But the problem is that we want Oh, yes, it's actually the function that cares. Okay, so we can go.
But we could convert inside of the function. I don't know. We cannot.
No, we can't. Yeah, but that's okay. We can just
Oh
go
no!
into
But
that.
wait.
Okay.
We don't need to convert here. We need to convert in the user function.
Yes.
For us, we still need a date. It's the user that needs to convert that date based on what their API wants.
Oh, good point.
Because maybe they want to use different things. Maybe they want to pass an ISO string. Who cares, right?
Yes. Okay.
So for us, we still pass it the same way. It's in the user defined function that we convert.
Yes. Okay. So wait. Const start. Really? You're not gonna finish this for me? This dot period get.
Yeah, I
This
mean you don't
dot
need the const
state
here.
dot.
You could just pass it like straight in.
Yeah, I will. That's what it wants me to do. All right, there we go. Just get rid of this. Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, it's the user defined function that we need to change now.
Yes, which means we actually want to go into playground and do it here.
So not here in the actual
In
call.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So this way, these ones are dates, and then they can use whatever they use for their dates to convert it. You know. For us, we
Let's
could
try
do
it.
that, or you could do a get time. I think if you want the Unix timestamp.
What's this? It has no exported member.
Sometimes it happens when the core doesn't build properly, so you might need to refresh like the build.
Oh, actually, it's also probably because I'm not running this. I'm going to remove that at date FNS.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pick up a Diet Coke.
Filter core. It's 10:47. We could just call it. Let's do it. All right. So now that we have the events passing in, okay, let's just see what happens if I run it. Does it actually error? It does. Okay, so it did error in a build. Where? DTS build. Oh, whoops. I see. It's the import. That would be in calendar. We no longer need to import those. There. Okay. There we go. Okay, good call. And look at that. We even rebuilt. Perfect. Okay, so if we reload.
Come on, we need a success.
Okay.
I feel like that array is still empty somehow. Yeah. There's a point where we had one event.
No events.
Scroll back up in your console. There's a point where we had some events.
Really?
Yeah. You see here? Array 2, array 1, like that. There's sometimes we have events.
Array
there's one that says array 4.
Oh, right here. In July to November. Oh, period.
No.
July. Wait, this is July.
July 1st.
This is the correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we're looking for.
Yeah.
Then
so something else is refreshing it again with like empty calls for some reason.
Oh. We're in month view. So let's go to day view. No call. Oh, there it is. Yeah, still none. But our period is today.
No, the period is July 25th, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
So if we
So
go to
let's go
the
boom, boom,
15th,
boom, 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 boom.
yeah, it's probably too
No.
quick. Maybe we need to debounce this thing. Because when you change the dates that fast, we need to debounce. We don't want to send a call every single time.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise, there you have a race condition, and one of those, like you see, when you went from the 25th to the 15th, the call that actually load the events for the 15th probably ran before, and then maybe the one for the 24th ends after for some reason, and it loads 0
Yes.
events. So we need to
Yes.
debounce.
Okay, so the debounce is going to happen on our side,
Yes.
probably
So we need a debounce
inside of
function
calendar.
for the refresh source. If you call it multiple times in a row, you need to debounce it. And you
Yeah.
only run the latest version.
So that's inside of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we want to
So
use for the debounce? Do we want to use like Lodash?
no, just use debounce.
Debounce.
Yeah.
I mean, debounce is a
Look.
single package.
Yeah. Debounce.
Yeah. Where is that debounce coming from?
It's got 8.3 million downloads.
Okay. From what's the creator? Syndra or something?
Syndroorus, full-time open sourcer.
Yeah. I've seen this name around before. I just don't remember which package I saw this name before. But I saw this name before. Let me take a look at this guy's profile. Because I'm curious now to see like which package I've seen from him.
I mean, it looks pretty simple. All right.
Oh, query string. That's the one.
PNPMI, debounce, filter core. You fine with that one?
What?
Are you
Yeah.
fine with that package?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So this dot refresh sources, and we essentially want to debounce this entire thing. So let's import it. Import debounce from, not from Lodash debounce. How dare you? Okay. How do you debounce a method? Can you wrap a method in a debounce?
Yeah. So you put your debounce and then you can put your promise. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I think you can debounce it. Yeah.
like
You
I
can.
can
You
just
just you
debounce this?
yes, but you need to transform it so that it's a property thing. So it's not going to be private async. It's going to be like, yeah, we need to change the syntax so that the function is defined as a function. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, so you want to do function.
It has to be refresh sources,
Yep.
colon, and then we put the debounce.
Oh, yes.
And then
Yes.
whatever else,
Colon debounce. And then this actually goes, we don't need that anymore. This becomes essentially like an arrow function.
Yes, but arrow function is gonna remove you this.
Right. So it actually becomes a function. And then we wrap it and we debounce it. How long do you want to debounce it for?
I don't know, like 1-2 seconds. Not even. Actually, 500 milliseconds should be okay. And then you need to bind. So after the debounce parenthesis, you need to bind this. I think.
Okay, what
So
is the
there's
deal?
something to do like this. Now you
Debounce.
can use arrow function instead of your function.
Ah. It's
But there's
yeah.
still
Duh.
something like complaining. No, there's still something off. Can't start a function call in a type annotation. Why are you in a type annotation?
Oh, because of the colon.
We're in a freaking TypeScript class.
Hold on. We can actually come on, cursor. There. Does that actually work? There's no errors.
Maybe. Yeah, but I'm not sure we can make it private anymore. So you basically transformed it into a property, right?
There.
Yeah. It's just a property now. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm not running.
It would be nice if we could see your terminal at the same time as your arc.
Yeah, we could do that. Probably should have gone to the correct place first. Although it's not going to be pretty. Let's shrink that a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's okay. It's just to see if something's happening. So the terminal doesn't have to be super readable. But...
Okay.
Okay, so if we refresh.
Oh, we're in. There we go.
Why is it so slow?
Okay.
Aha! There's a thing here. I don't know why, but
Right.
there is. I don't know why our dates look like this. Oh, it's probably the day event that we didn't stylize yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so try to go to July since that's the one we were looking for.
All right. So July. I don't know what day that is.
They're here. But there's
Let's
nothing
just...
on the 15th though.
There's nothing. What?
Still don't have the array. Can you increase the debounce?
Increase it?
Yeah.
Like a
Just put
1,000?
like something ridiculous here. Like 1,000 or even for like 5 seconds. Something crazy.
Sure. Let's do. Okay.
This way we have time to see, like, we just count it. So you switch to day view. Well, yeah, that's in November, so that's fine. So let's go in July.
I don't think it's debouncing.
Is it preventing you to scroll to go through?
don't think it's debouncing, it's instantly loading it.
Yeah.
May not solve this one today.
Yeah, that might be a trickier one.
Okay. Well, let's ponder it.
Another option is to debounce the set of events. So you still run the request, but I mean, it would be nice to prevent the request to go through, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to
Awesome.
think about. Okay. Well, we
this
have
was
some
good.
work for next week.
Yep. Let's remember to write it down so we remember where we were.
Create an issue on GitHub.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Let me just open this guy up here. Oh, not with this. Whoops. Oh, I didn't actually put the. My bad. GitHub. And we actually want Datekit. All right. And actually, you know what? While we're at it, we're just going to drag that up into this. Oh. All right. Issue. New issue. Fix. Calendar event fetching. Debounce calendar events.
Yeah.
Debounce calendar event fetching.
Or debounce remote sources.
Yes,
like
debounce remote.
Damn,
sources.
writing the docs for this is going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, this was good.
Cool.
Let me close that. Let me close this.
Oh, good. I'm
turn this
to a just chatting view.
Back to its original. Ooh, I did not want to do that. What did I just do? Use settings as default? Oh, no. Oh, no.
I can't help you. I don't use the Mac terminal.
No, I just... that sucks. Return to default size. No! I totally accidentally overrode my setting. I did not know you could do that. Oh, that's kind of cool though. So let me set it to a cool. There we go, and then I'll do shell use as default. There we go. Did not know you could do that. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I like my terminal full screen.
I actually put mine full screen on my my third screen, but when we're only sharing one screen, then
yeah,
obviously.
I like accessing it from anywhere. That's why. So I can just like press a hotkey and I have my terminal popping up.
Yeah. Yeah. I
One
used
thing
to
that I would
program
like to
with
do,
mine separate. I used to have it like, multiple desktops on Mac. I used to just throw it on a separate desktop.
Damn, that's nuts. I need to access it. I need to access it everywhere. But one thing that I would like to do, I think iTerm can do it, is like if my cursor is on my second screen, when I press my hotkey, I would like the terminal to show there, as opposed to showing to the other screen.
That could be cool. Kind of like Arc and how it opens up a window over top of the link you click on the screen you're on.
Yeah, or Raycast. Like Raycast, for example, if I press like Option Space, I have Raycast that shows up. But if my cursor is on the other screen, it shows up on the other screen, and it's kind of nice.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's actually, I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can disable it if you don't want it, but I think iTerm has a setting like this. I just didn't look into the settings to figure it out. But and my terminal is transparent, so I can still see a little bit under what's happening.
Yep.
Unless I have my screencast profile, in which case it's opaque. But yeah. All right, man. So next Monday.
We'll do next Monday. Yeah, let's actually get something going. Hey, we took a little hiatus there.
Yeah.
What exactly? Life. Yeah. But, actually, we should actually double check though a couple things coming up because you never know. It might be a few days we don't want to hit.
Yeah, there might be some holidays or whatever, but also one thing that I was thinking is maybe we should like get some kind of social going on, like Blue Sky or Twitter, or whatever,
Oh, oh
just to
yeah, yeah.
allow
Oh man.
people, if people find us at some point,
Yep.
to allow them to know when we're streaming. Um,
So social media is not my thing. The fact that I'm on camera with you on these streams is more than enough for me.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Let me check this calendar. Why can't I switch this into month? There we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I
so
will post on
next.
YouTube. This way we kind of have a reference. And yeah, I haven't
All
figured
right.
out the multi-stream yet to see if we can stream on YouTube and Twitch, but
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I would say probably the 23rd, the day before Christmas Eve. Oh,
It's off for you.
I'll probably stream that day. Actually, that one's probably fine. It's probably the 30th that I won't. That's New Year's,
30th.
the day before the
So
New Year's Eve there.
December
Although
2nd, you good?
December 2nd, yeah, that's fine. December 9th is fine. 16th is fine.
Cool.
Um,
23rd? You
20,
don't want to skip
23rd
that
should
one?
be. It should no, it should be fine. Unless you want to skip it. I mean, there's gonna.
I'm okay. I don't do anything for Christmas. So I'm
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the 30th. I'm on vacation actually, so we might be able to do like a day stream, just not all day. But
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't mind.
Depends on if you are you on vacation during that, or it's the day before. I
I
assume.
don't really know so far. uh, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we at least got 4 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I can take a day off if you're really committed to do like a day stream. You know,
A full day of streaming. Hmm.
that could be fun during the holidays, and
I
nobody's
mean,
doing anything. Like
yeah, it honestly could be. Let's
we
talk
do
about it closer
hackathon.
to.
We do a hackathon in one day.
Build, decide a project and build it.
Yeah,
That could be fun.
we have
That
one day
could
to
be
finish
fun.
it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually got one. If you're interested, it's almost actually done. So we could just spend the day finishing it.
What is it?
It's actually a tool for it's actually for my wife's work. It's called I've just called it Release Scheduler. That's all it is. All
Okay.
it does is it lets you add events to your Google Calendar, but you
Yeah.
get to choose the structure. So basically, the idea is I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't know how much I'm allowed to actually say, but basically, imagine you have a bunch of events that you create constantly. So,
Hmm.
like when you create the event on, say, December 3rd, it triggers a bunch of other events to be created.
Okay.
So that's it. Basically, you get to come in to my app, sign in with Google, because I'm only hooking up to Google Calendar. And what you would do is you would create what I'm calling a flow, and you would just come in and say, okay, I would like to create, like, event. This is the title of my event. You can also
Yeah.
insert some extra data, some metadata, and then basically from there you can add another one. So you can say, okay, once I create this event, I want the next event to appear 6 days later, and it says this with
I
this
see.
as its summary. And then I want the next event to be 14 days later, and
So it's an
so on
event
and so forth.
sequencer.
Yeah, yeah,
You
pretty
create the
much.
first one, and it triggers a workflow of events. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I've basically got it working. The only piece that I'm kind of stuck on is I think I kind of coded myself into a wall here to make it easy to update. That's the piece that I'm trying to figure
To
out
update
the
all
best
the
way.
events, or
Just to be able to update, yes, all of them.
well,
So
you save
if
your
you go in and
sequence inside of a DB somewhere, right?
correct,
So you
so
should save the events that it has created, and they're
yes.
all connected to the
Uh
parent.
oh, I actually don't want to save the events that you create. That's part of your calendar. I only want to save the flow. once you've created your event and it's triggered the event into your calendar, it's your responsibility to go and make any changes you
Well,
want.
if you don't want to save the ones that have been created, like the uses of the flow, then
Yes.
you could every time you update a flow, like the duration between two events or whatever in the flow, you could go and delete all the events for that flow and recreate them. But it's a little inefficient. What I would do is just
Yeah.
save the events somewhere,
Yeah, actually, I'm here. I mean, we don't have to do
right?
this part on stream, but
Because if I use
I'll
workflow
show it to
one,
you.
you create the first event, you connect that event to the workflow, and then the subsequent events that you create that are part of the workflow, you connect them to the first event. And this way, if you delete, if you change the workflow, you can go back to the first event of every instance of that workflow you created, and you just delete the subsequent events and recreate them, but you don't have to delete the first
Mm.
event.
Oh. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I was thinking like the ability to reorder them. Like maybe you're like, ah, crap, I need this event to actually happen after that one. Like,
Yeah, no, you
so you
could
just drag and
retrace the
drop.
events that you created, and then the ones that have changed, you just move them.
Yeah. And then the last piece is, and actually, since you're potentially the super base expert here, is tying the without paying for it. I mean, if I have to pay for it, I have to pay for it. But I prefer to try and keep it on the free tier since it's only for this company. But basically, trying to tie the Google session, because
Tie
what
the Google
happens?
session.
Yeah, so if I sign in, I can log in with Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all on board. I have all that set up, but it doesn't kill your session. So if you come back to the application, you are still authenticated with Supabase, but you're not authenticated with Google. So you'll go to create your event and you'll get an error because you're not actually signed in with Google anymore. So
But
I need
do
to
you
keep that
store the refresh
session.
token?
Uh that's the piece that I was wondering about. Like I don't store it in my database. I wasn't sure where I'm supposed to store it.
So you could store it. You could create a table that is not part of the Supabase like default schema.
Hmm.
The one you can access from your front end.
Okay.
So not in the public schema, but you create another schema, kind of like the auth table or whatever. And then when you authenticate with Google, you could have some background job, like maybe a cloud function or whatever, like an edge function actually from Supabase would be a good thing, or even
Yeah.
a Postgres routine. And
Yep.
that Postgres routine creates a record with the refresh token on the other side, and then you can use that refresh token when people come back.
So there you go. That's something we could do for our day stream.
Yeah,
But here,
it's
I'll
quite good.
show it to you.
Supabase also has a concept of vault if you want to use this. You can actually store that token into a vault, and it's going to be encrypted, and then you can pull it back into your Postgres and kind of like have a routine that refreshes that token, for example.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
I do that for
Interesting.
webhooks because I had a project where I needed to send a webhook. So every time something happens in my database, I needed to send a webhook to another API, but I wanted to authenticate that webhook, so put some kind of a signature on it. And so I needed to save like a salt that I would create the signature with inside
Okay.
of my database, and I use a Supabase Vault for this. There's the
Interesting.
video on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But yeah, that the Vault would be a good use case.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, did I
Especially
not?
because adding something to the Vault is literally Postgres, like it's a Postgres query. There's nothing else you need to do.
Right. My bad. I don't have Docker running.
So yeah, but you do need some kind of backend with a service role that can like fetch that token and refresh it on the backend. Yeah. But you could just trigger the dev too.
Triggered it for my session, my refresh token. Interesting.
But it's not really the session, right? Like what you're refreshing is the access token from your OAuth in Google. Because your session is
Yeah.
there. The session is the one you have with Supabase. That's
Yeah.
your session. The other one is not a session, it's actually stateless. So it's an access token that you have that
Mm.
expires, and you got to use the refresh token to refresh it.
Oh,
But
that's the
people do
piece
it
I
all the
missed.
time. People do it all the time. Like when I use Cron Calendar, for example, you connect your Google calendars there, and even when you're not using your calendar, they need to refresh your calendars anyway. So they
Yeah.
use the refresh token for that. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Can you see my screen, by the way?
I can, yeah.
Nobody else can, of course, but
No,
it's because.
it is hidden. We're just chatting. I
uh,
mean, we can end the stream if you want.
yeah, let's end it. We can chat
Cool,
after.
cool. Well, see you all later, folks. Next Monday. Cheers.
See you later.